How are you feeling? Confident?
Good luck, sir.
There we go.
Great.
There we go.
So there we see Prince Harry walking into the court buildings of the Royal Courts of Justice. Like I say, other names include Baroness Doreen Lawrence as well. Let's just take another look at these images as they've just come in. That was live. This is a replay of those moments just a couple of moments ago. And obviously Harry's storied past with the newspapers and the press here in the United Kingdom. 2 previous court cases, one settled out of court, one against the Mirror Group publishers found in Harry's favour. This one is against Associated Newspapers Limited, the publishers behind the Daily Mail, the Mail on Sunday and the Mail Online, bringing together several high-profile claimants appearing in court today, a real show of unity and togetherness and force, one might say, against Associated Newspapers Limited. Prince Harry expected to take to the stand on Thursday. The case expected to be heard over the course of the coming 9 weeks. We're going to bring you more details on that story as it develops. Of course, we'll keep a very close eye on it. Plenty more on the live pages on the Sky News website and the Sky News app. Let's bring you up to speed on one of the day's other big developing stories. This is going to be one that's going to go with us for weeks, potentially. Prince Harry and several other famous faces in court today as part of their case against the publishers of the Daily Mail. Harry and the other claimants say they've been victims of unlawful information gathering. Prince Harry due to give evidence on Thursday. The case, like I say, scheduled to last over 2 months. Liz Hurley, Sir Elton John and Sadie Frost, some of the other high-profile claimants who are standing against Associated Newspapers. The accused deny any wrongdoing. Well, let's take you to the outside of the Royal Courts of Justice. Laura Bundock is there for us. And Laura, we just saw Prince Harry arriving at the court building. This is not the first time that he's been in court, but this case somewhat different to the last.
Yeah, that's right. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, is now in the building behind me alongside some of the other very high-profile claimants in this case. This is the last of Prince Harry's legal fights with Fleet Street, this time taking on the Mail, Associated Newspapers, and along with those co-claimants in the case, which also includes Sir Elton John, David Furnish, Baroness Doreen Lawrence and Sir Stephen Hughes, the Liberal Democrat politician. They are claiming that Associated Papers published stories about them all using information that had been illegally obtained, so by the use of private investigators to hack their phones and voicemail, the bugging of cars and homes, and the use of blagging, they allege, the deceptive ways people, they claim, would try and access their private personal information. Associated Newspapers denies strongly all of their claims, describing them as lurid, preposterous smears. And so, in a few moments' time, this case will get underway. You're right, we've been here before. Prince Harry has already taken on the publishers of the Mirror. He won that case, the judge ruling in that case that phone hacking there was habitual and widespread. And just nearly over a year ago, he settled with News Group, the publishers of The Sun and the now shuttered News of the World, for a huge sum of money. This time, though, this case could be a little trickier, I think, looking at some of the witnesses being called into question, the reliability of them already. A couple of the claimants' key witnesses have retracted their statements. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. There's a lot at stake here. It is a high-stake case, not just for the huge amounts of money at play. It's expected this case will cost somewhere in the region of £40 million, but also a reputational risk, especially for Prince Harry. For him, this has been such a personal campaign, a really personal crusade, if you like, taking on the British tabloid press. He said he wanted it to be his life's work, trying to change the media landscape. He said in his memoir, his father, the King, described it as a suicide mission. But we'll see how it all plays out in the coming weeks. Harry is here today. We're expecting him here tomorrow as well, and he'll take the witness box here on Thursday.
Laura, good to have you with us. Plenty more from Laura and the team at the Royal Courts of Justice through the course of the day. Let's also bring Christina Michaelis, who's a barrister specialising in media law, defamation and privacy. Good to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. There's a few basics I'd just quite like to iron out, first of all. This is a civil case. rather than a criminal case. Just explain for those who aren't up to speed kind of the difference here and what the bar of kind of evidence that's needed to pass this kind of case.
So, yeah, it is a civil case. It's also not a public inquiry, which the judge has already emphasised in earlier hearings. Criminal cases are what everybody would be familiar with, you know, murder, anything that's prohibited by criminal law. Civil cases about rights and duties, so contracts, personal injury cases, those sort of things, and includes privacy and defamation. This is about unlawful information gathering, or an acronym you're going to hear a lot of over the next 10 weeks, UIG.
Which means... that's
unlawful information gathering, that's
right.
what it stands for. Yeah.
And then these allegations are centred around activities that are alleged to have taken place between 1993 and 2011, I think it is. Now, typically there's a 6-year limit on privacy cases. 1993 is a lot longer than 6 years ago. So how is this all coming to court now in 2026? Well,
that's going to be one of the big legal issues. So we have laws in this country that put a limit on, as you say, when you can bring a case, and it varies from the cause of action. So defamation cases are only 1 year. But there is a principle that you can't bring a cause of action. You can't bring your case until you know about it. So if you can show that you didn't know or that there was information concealed, then the court has a discretion to allow a case to be brought later. But that's going to be a battle under Section 32 of the Limitation Act.
So that's going to be a real crunch point. People like Prince Harry are going to have to prove that they were unaware for a very long time, and the paper's going to have to prove that that wasn't the case.
Yeah, they've got evidence that's already been referred to that's called, I think they're referring to it as the watershed moment, which is where each of the individual claimants says, this is when I first realised that I might have been subject to unlawful information gathering.
And then just talk to us, because there's multiple news groups and paper publishers, and we've been in court before, whether that was kind of newspapers, whether that was the case that was pursued against Mirror Group. This is obviously associated newspapers. Is this different to what we've seen before? And if so, how?
Yeah, it is absolutely different. Right. It's hugely different. And the reason is that News Group and the News of the World made admissions about unlawful news gathering, which ultimately, as you know, led to the closure of the paper. Similarly, with Mirror Group, they made some admissions. They were more limited, and then there was a hearing out in front of Mr Justice Fancourt who made other findings. So that in both of those cases, the papers made admissions, some limited. But here, associated newspapers say, we didn't do this at all. They accept, I think, that they used some private investigators up to I forget exactly, 2006, 2007, but lawfully. And beyond that, they say they haven't done any of this at all. So it's a huge dispute of fact. And that is what all this case is about. And when you've got... It's literally the people on one side saying, you did this, and the people on the other side saying, no, we didn't. It's about as stark a contrast factually as you can get.
Well, there's going to be plenty of debate, plenty to come from the courts, plenty more to ask you as well. So, for the moment, thank you so much. We're going to have plenty more of this online as well. Sky News website and Sky News app, the live pages running throughout the course of the day, throughout the course of the case as well.